Hello, divas.
Part 3.
Part 3.
Yes.
Tres.
Of boundaries.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay. So now we're talking about physical boundaries.
Physical boundaries.
And it's not always what you think.
No.
We're not talking, it could be. It could be if somebody hits you, pushes you. Those are physical boundaries.
Yeah.
Force you to. We're not talking about that kind of boundaries, although that is part of physical.
Of course.
But there are other physical boundaries. Honey, you want to share?
I'm clueless. No.
What's a physical boundary?
Well, we talked about it in the very first one. For Donna, it was when I held her hand and we interlocked fingers.
Right.
That was a boundary that was not available to me on our first date. We had also mentioned in one of the other videos that when Donna came up and set in place this rule to where, nope, we are definitely, there's no way we're going to be intimate before the fourth date. There was a lot of those guys, they didn't show back up for the second or the third date.
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't say it. It was my body language that enforced that.
Yeah.
And why did I do that? Because I wanted to be valued. I realized that I was being my act of caring for me was being misinterpreted. So I set this boundary, this rule in place for myself, and I abided by it. I did not deviate from that boundary.
And I will say this, on our very first date, she felt safe with me. We went out, I drove her home, and she gave me a quick tour of her home. And I wanted her to understand that I just thought the world of her, and I wanted to see her again. And I looked at my watch and I said, it's almost midnight. I need to leave so you can get to sleep.
Now, in this case, he set the boundary, right? Because at that time, for those of you who know me, I was not looking for love. I was not looking for marriage. Okay, I was looking for companionship. Yeah. So this is super important for you to realize. He set that boundary.
Yeah.
And you will have that. You will go on dates where he will set the boundary or you will set the boundary, and it doesn't necessarily mean with words.
No. But it is important. Now, we've talked about this in the first two videos. I encourage you, write down your boundaries.
Right. Now, a boundary that I set after my experiences with dates from years before, you can grab the book at the links below, was I am not taking the train to go see anybody, okay? Because why? I did that. I did that because I thought I was showing how caring I was.
Yes.
At that time, I was doing temp work, so I was not employed full time. So and then he was a realtor. So I thought I was doing a good thing until the day came when I asked him to pick me up, and he would not. You can read about that.
Why don't you just take the train like you always do?
Yeah, I was like, ooh, okay, I got to set a new boundary. Of course, I didn't say that at the moment, but I learned that that was no longer going to happen again.
Yeah, well, it wasn't acceptable. And that also showed her where he was at with her.
Right.
He didn't really truly value her. When she went out with her late husband, Pietro, for the first time, he said, it's late, let me drive you home.
Yeah.
To which she said, that would be delightful. Thank you.
And by the way, I was about to say, it's okay, I can take the train. And you bet I did not. I set that tone because I didn't think I was going to fall in love with Pietro. I had no clue. I was networking with him. But still, I understood that I had to stick with the system.
Yeah.
That's important. Write that down.
Well, and if you listen to what the men that you are coming in contact with, when you listen to what they say, we had one of Donna's students, a beautiful, beautiful woman. This guy asked her out. And she said, well, what will you be coming to pick me up in? And he basically said, well, I've got a Chevy and a Porsche. I'll be in the Chevy. And she's like, no. If you're going to take me out, you're going to bring the Porsche. To which he did. And ever since then, I've told Donna, imagine the difference in the type of man if he would have said, well, normally I always bring the Chevy, but you wow, you are like one of the most amazing women I've ever met. There is no way that I would bring anything except the Porsche for you. I wish I actually had a Bentley, but I can't afford that right now.
And by the way, I'm happy to tell you she's no longer with him, and it's not about the Porsche it's about his idea of value.
Yes, he didn't value her.
Right.
To even question that.
Yeah, and that's something.
No, it is.
Now, it's not all about the the vehicle the man drives.
Well,
Now,
heavens no.
I will tell you that after when
Beep, 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 beep.
when we went on our first date and we were walking toward the parking lot, I was
my vehicle.
to his vehicle because I felt safe with him. We had spoke on the phone. I Googled him. I researched him. I do all the things I tell you to do. I was wondering, what kind of car does this man have? What kind? I'm thinking, is it a Mercedes? Is it a Chevy? Is it a Honda? What is it? And it was a 2005?
Well, it was a 12-year-old Chevy Blazer.
Blazer. And but here's the cool part that I want to express. He treated that vehicle like it was Cinderella's pumpkin. And when he walked proudly up to it, and he opened the door, and he put his hand out to help me get into the car, how he treated me was everything. That was not wasted on me, baby. Yeah, that was so good.
And that was my work vehicle. It was my only vehicle. I had bought it used. There was a stain in the passenger seat, but the floor was swept. The vehicle was clean.
It was a clean
washed.
stain.
Yes, it was. Everything was clean. But what impressed her was how I treated her.
Yeah, take notes.
I did not. Well, I did try to interlock fingers with her. I didn't try to put my arm around her. I didn't try to pull her in and kiss her.
Yeah.
I didn't try anything. I wanted to let her know that I'm a perfect gentleman, and I understand it's an honor and a privilege to be able to take her out to dinner. And so therefore, to be sure I can take her out again, I want to act like a complete gentleman and show her that I see value in her.
And you just said something. Divas, we hold the cards. Because if he didn't do, because he was interested in me.
Yeah.
He was a bit smitten, actually. And
A bit.
just a bit. Just a bit. But it wasn't going to go anywhere if I didn't say it was.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. I had the
Well, you have all the power. You have the cards. Divas, you hold the power. You hold all the cards.
Yeah, always.
You need to remember that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if a guy is crazy over you. And you've probably all been there where you've had one guy that he was just smitten with you. He was so infatuated with you, but you're thinking to yourself, there's not enough beer on this entire planet for me to drink to go out with you. No way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter how smitten he is.
Right.
What matters in your case is where you're at, and if you want to go out with him again the second time.
Yeah, so I hope that you've got some valuable lessons from this, that you have taken notes, and you'll see us in the next video, because we do have an end part for this. I don't know, I think we're on 3.
Yes, we're on part 3.
And we always want you to remember,
it doesn't have to be that hard.